Missiles in Kashmir, and the bill comes due for student loan borrowers. It's 5 and 10 from SkyWatchTV. 5 things you need to know in about 10 minutes for Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. I'm Gilbert. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you. Please subscribe, share, click the bell for notifications, hit that like button, and then please stick around after the break. Find out how you can guarantee we never get canceled. Item number 5 today, Yemen. Did the Houthi government in Yemen surrender or not? It turns out it was a sort of surrender. Okay, we'll surrender to the United States, but we're not surrendering to Israel. So the Houthis have confirmed there will be a ceasefire in the Red Sea with the United States. This deal was mediated by Oman. President Trump taking advantage of the opportunity to pull the United States out of what could have become a quagmire. Let's be honest, with missile technology the way it is right now, aircraft carriers, while they have their uses, are also very large sitting ducks. So they are moving out of the region. The ceasefire does not include Israel. The Houthis made this clear on Wednesday, suggesting that the shipping attacks that have disrupted global trade may resume at some point. Now, there have not been any reports of Houthi attacks on shipping in the Red Sea, which again is what connects the Indian Ocean to the Suez Canal. Since January. The Houthis have, however, launched missiles at Israel. And the one that hit earlier this week near Ben Gurion Airport in Tel Aviv is what prompted the Israelis to launch a massive airstrike against the international airport in Yemen's capital of Sana'a, leaving it more or less completely destroyed. Item number 4, India and Pakistan. This continues to be a spot that the world is watching with very intense interest and unease, shall we say, because the two countries, both armed with nuclear weapons, exchanged missiles. I mean, India hitting Pakistan with missiles overnight Wednesday. Pakistan said it shot down 5 Indian aircraft and has now vowed to escalate in retaliation. This is now the worst conflict between these two nations in the last 20 years, but they've had ongoing skirmishes across this line of control in the Kashmir region ever since the two countries split in 1947. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif addressed the nation following the overnight missile attack from India, saying that India will have to suffer the consequences. India has said that if Pakistan retaliates, that India will retaliate for the retaliation. A friend of ours living in India, by the way, got in touch with me on a messaging app and told us that yesterday that a pre-wartime drill was announced for today in India, beginning at 4 p.m. local time for 244 cities all across India. Full blackout, no power, no mobile phone signals until the drills were over. People of India, based on what our friend is telling us, very concerned about the situation there. Pray that cooler heads will prevail. Item number 3, student loans. United States government beginning to seize federal benefits from nearly 200,000 student loan defaulters. This will begin in June. Wage garnishment notices will then go out to another 5 million more borrowers later this summer. The Department of Education said this is necessary to restore common sense and fairness and to protect taxpayers, because if the government has guaranteed these loans, if they go into default, the banks recover their money from the government, which means we, the taxpayers, on the hook for those defaulted loans. Currently, according to the Department of Education, only 38% of nearly 43 million federal student loan borrowers are current, meaning 60% are late, delinquent, or in default. 10 million borrowers delinquent or in default. The others are in forbearance, deferment, or in grace periods. This enforcement restart follows the collapse of former President Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness plan, where he was going to use executive orders to just say, let's just forgive all of the student loans, would have canceled, put that in air quotes, canceled hundreds of billions of dollars in student loan debt. The Supreme Court said, no, you don't have the authority to do that. And the word cancel is really not quite accurate either, because, again, the debts would not have been just written off. The government, meaning you and me, the taxpayers, would have had to step up and repay the banks that issued the loans. Supporters of Biden's proposal said this would reduce inequality and stimulate economic growth. Of course, Most of the rest of us said, hey, wait a minute, what about those of us who've actually paid off our loans or are still paying on our loans? And what about those people who never borrowed money to go to school in the first place? Why should they be on the hook? Anyway, Department of Education, starting in June, going to start collecting again. These loans were, the collection periods were stopped 5 years ago during COVID, and now, only just now, is starting up again. Item number 2 today, a sign of the times, the Presbyterian Church USA. This is the liberal Presbyterian Church, not the Presbyterian Church of America, which is more conservative. The PCUSA has fired missionaries around the world and ended its foreign mission agency. This is ending a 200-year tradition of sending foreign missionaries to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ around the world. Denomination cut its mission staff down from about 60 missionaries. About 30 will be retained as global ecumenical advisors, not missionaries, just ecumenical advisors. There were about 200 missionaries working for the PCUSA 15 years ago, back in 2010. Now, why is the church doing this? Well, they've suffered a loss of about 10% of its membership just in the last 3 years, from about 1.2 million in 2020 to less than 1.1 million in 2023. Total annual giving to supporting missionaries has dropped over the last 25 years. Back in 2000, it was about $16 million from the Presbyterian Church USA members for missions, down to about $6 million in 2023. But here's the other reason. In many parts of the world, the people who we were sending missionaries to now look at the United States and the content coming out from Hollywood and social media and saying, no, we need to send missionaries to the United States, not take them from the United States. To which we say to our brothers and sisters in the Global South, please send more. Coming up, the Papal conclave began today in Rome, and you'll never guess how some of the Cardinals prepared for the work ahead. I wish it was a joke. That's next on 5 and 10.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can support the ministry of SkyWatch TV and our continued efforts to share the gospel of Jesus Christ throughout the 4 corners of the world and receive your very own copy of this incredible masterpiece when you order the Gates of Hell Ultimate Collection. Not only does this incredible special offer include Derek and Sharon Gilbert's new book, The Gates of Hell, Unlocking the Ganymede Code and the Demonic Portals of Mount Hermon and the United States Capitol, but it also includes the best-selling books Veneration, Unveiling the Ancient Realms of Demonic Kings and Satan's Battle Plan for Armageddon, and The Second Coming of Saturn, The Great Conjunction, America's Temple, and the Return of the Watchers by Derek and Sharon Gilbert. Veneration uncovers how the ancient giants known as the Raphaim influenced biblical beliefs, leading to the corruption of God's people and their eventual return to fight at Armageddon alongside the Antichrist. The Second Coming of Saturn reveals a dark prophecy with the 2020 conjunction marking the return of the ancient god whose reign will bring a hellish golden age as foretold in occult symbols and Bible prophecy. Sold separately, these items hold a retail value of over $60. Yours now for your donation of only $40, which includes free shipping to all U.S. orders. So don't delay. You can support the ministry of SkyWatch TV and help us continue spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ right now by scanning the QR code on your screen using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this special opportunity. Visit us at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Gates of Hell Ultimate Collection now.
Item number 1 today, the Papal conclave began today in Rome. 133 cardinals from all over the world, representing the world's 1.3 billion Roman Catholics, now sealed inside the Sistine Chapel until we see the white smoke emerge from the Sistine Chapel's chimney, which will signal to the world that they have elected the successor to Pope Francis. Pope Francis, the 266th Pope on the official list, elected in 2013. He passed away on April 21st. The leading candidates believed to be Italian Cardinal Pietro Parolin. He's the Vatican Secretary of State. the one who negotiated that secret deal with the Chinese Communist Party I told you about yesterday, Filipino Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, and Hungarian Cardinal Peter Erdo. Interesting that two of the three are named Peter, the prophecy of the popes, the final pope being Peter the Roman. Anyway, they are considered the leaders, but there may be a surprise candidate from somewhere else in the world. Again, as they vote, if they don't have a candidate with the necessary number of votes, black smoke will come from the chimney. When they finally reach a consensus, then there will be white smoke. Now, here's the thing, and this is not parody. I wish this was a joke. This being reported by Politico, some of the 133 cardinals taking part in the conclave have prepared for the work by going to the theater and watching the movie Conclave, starring Ralph Fiennes and Stanley Tucci. Seriously. Now, this is based on a novel that was published about 9 years ago. According to experts, many of the details by author Robert Harris are accurate and correct. But the thing is, as I told you the other day, of the 133, 108 have been appointed or were appointed by Pope Francis. So they've never done this before. So they're going and watching the movie to see how they're supposed to behave. And there's a lot of politicking, let's just say, that goes on in that film. So just imagine it. Congratulations. 60% of the world's professing Christians will be represented by the next pope, brought to you in part by Hollywood. This week on SkyWatch TV, we have some good news for you, which is Whispering Ponies Ranch is open in 2025. The work that we're doing with children in the foster care system through partner ministries like For the Kids, your support makes it possible that our partner ministries don't have to pay a dime. That's why we do what we do at SkyWatch TV. You can see the announcement, Joe Ardis Horn, Nita Horn, other staff from Whispering Ponies Ranch on this week's broadcast program. It's available to watch now at skywatchtv.com. Our over-the-air broadcast schedule posted at skywatchtv.com/channels. Now, you can watch on your schedule by adding the SkyWatch TV channel to your smart TV, whether it's Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Google TV, Android TV. Go to their app store, find the SkyWatch TV channel, add it to your TV, and that our video content comes right to your TV. You can also bring it right to your smartphone or tablet by adding the SkyWatch TV channel to, or the free mobile app that is, to iOS, Android, or Amazon Kindle Fire. We've got links to the app stores at skywatchtv.com/app. You can also watch us on the internet, youtube.com/@skywatchtelevision. Subscribe, share, click the bell for notifications, and hit the like button. You can also watch us on Rumble, rumble.com/skywatchtv. Now, a couple of events to tell you about coming up this year. We will be at, and when I say we, I mean Sharon and me, at the Mysteries of the Bibleverse conference in Indianapolis, actually Carmel, Indiana, just north of Indianapolis at the Drury Suites Hotel. Our good friend Pastor Carl Gallups, also one of the featured speakers there. This is June 13th and 14th. More information and registration at marginalmysteries.com. That's marginalmysteries.com. Now, many of us from SkyWatch TV will be at the upcoming Remnant Rising Conference from our good friends at Hear the Watchmen. That'll be in Springfield, Missouri at the Oasis Convention and Hotel and Convention Center. That is August 22nd through 24th. Sharon and me, along with Joe Ardis Horn, Nita Horn, Donna Howell, our good friend Vicki Joy Anderson, Tracy Tennant, and many others. We hope to see you at those events. And you can find out more about that conference at hearthewatchmen.com. That's hearthewatchmen.com. And if you've never been to the Holy Land, please consider joining Sharon and me as we return this October 19th through 30th with special guest Carl Teichrieb, author, lecturer, researcher, and it'll be essentially a rolling conference from Dan to Beersheba, as the old saying goes. And we'll take you some places that most tours won't visit, like the Altar of Joshua, Gilgal Rephaim, many other sites. We think we found the historic location of the baptism of Jesus, and it's not where most people think it is. We'll explain to you why it's north of the Sea of Galilee. Details and place for you to reserve your spot on the bus at gilberthouse.org/travel. That's gilberthouse.org/travel. Thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert. This is 5 in 10 from SkyWatch TV.
The prophecies foretold of a coming Savior, one that would reach across the veil and set the captives free. Featuring Derek Gilbert,
UFO True Believers, the Ancient Aliens Prophets,
Carl Gallups,
the cherubim, the living creatures,
and Micah Van Huss.
The story of the giant of Kandahar.
At the Mysteries of the Bibleverse event in Carmel, Indiana, June 13th and 14th.